Lukla from Ian Taylor Trekking.
And I'm Ian from Ian Taylor Trekking, and today we're going to talk about the 7 most frequently asked questions we get for one of our Everest Base Camp treks.
So the first question, number 1, can you help explain a little bit more about packing and my weight limits that I'm allowed on the trek and on the flights?
Yeah, so first protocol, we do have a page on the website called Packing for Everest Base Camp. There's numerous videos and content and all sorts of stuff you can review on there. Also in the trip dossier, we have itemized kit lists, so you can go through that, and we have outlined everything that you need to bring on the trip. So you leave home, you're in Kathmandu, you're in the hotel, you've done the briefing, you're packing your bag. You need to have a maximum of 10 kilos in your duffel bag and a maximum of 5 kilos in your day pack. So when you're walking out of the hotel, have 10 kilos in your duffel bag, 5 kilos in your backpack, and we go to the airport, we get on the plane, and we go from there. You can have like jackets on, or if you're having, you have battery packs or heavier items, you can stick those in your pockets. So you have a heavy camera. You can play around with that weight, and don't bring any water with you. Keep the camelbacks empty, and you can fill up water in Lukla when you get there.
And then what about when you're actually on the trek? How much weight can be in your duffel bag?
So when you're on the trek, you arrive into Lukla, you can move some of the weight from your backpack into the duffel bag. So the duffel bag can be 15 kilos that gets loaded up on the yaks to be brought up to base camp.
And then if I have spare clothes for Kathmandu or traveling onward, is there somewhere to leave that?
So if you're leaving all your travel clothes, all that stuff, you can leave it in another bag at the hotel reception. They'll give you a tag. All those items all that luggage can be left at the hotel, and they'll store it for you.
Great.
Number 2, I need to get my visa. How do I get the visa to get into Nepal?
So it's actually quite easy to just get your visa on arrival for Nepal. It costs, for a 30-day visa, it would be $50 for the fee. And it is very easy to do on arrival. Most people are just exhausted after a long flight and want to get through the process as quickly as they can. So there is a new way now to actually fill out the paperwork online. Then you can just print out that page, take it with you with your passport, with your $50 fee, and then the process is just a lot quicker and easier. The dossier has a link to the website that you can actually do that on. You can't pay for the visa before you get there, but you can get all the paperwork in and done to be able to go through the process quite easy. And then number 3, can you go through some information on what kind of extra money I need to bring with me on top of the tip money that I bring?
Yeah, so again, this is outlined in the dossier, and we have a page on the website, additional expenses incurred on the Everest trip, and we have them kind of listed out here so you can see them. So ultimately, when you get into the mountains, 3 meals are included, and then you get a hot drink with every meal. If you're buying any extra drinks or coffees or cans of Coke or boiled water or snacks or anything like that, that's all additional, even Wi-Fi. So you kind of need, if you're going to the bakery and getting coffees and doing all this, you need about $300 extra on top of tips for spending money just to cover you. Some people don't spend anywhere near that. Some people spend all of that in the region. So it's better to have more cash and better to change that into local currency when you get to Kathmandu. And there's another option in Namche to be able to change USD, sterling, euro into local currency in Namche if you're running low. So number 4, how do I get clean water, treat water, and how do I do all that?
So water in the region, cold water that you're going to be drinking every day is given free of charge. You don't have to pay for that. However, you do need to treat every bit of cold water that you are given on the trek. So every morning when you get your Camelback or your water bladder Nalgene bottles filled, you will want to treat that water with purification tablets. You can actually buy them in Kathmandu for quite inexpensively. You can also buy them at home beforehand. Aquatabs is a brand that a lot of people buy at home. And basically you put that in the water, you let it sit for usually about 30 minutes to treat the water, and then that water can be drank. Another thing that we like to recommend is having a steri pin. It basically uses UV light to kind of kill all extra bacteria out of the water. So it's just kind of a second protocol. It's not necessary. You don't have to have it, but it is a good option as a little bit added security. But every day, you really should never need to carry more than 2 liters of water at any time.
Just two.
Just 2. You can fill it up at lunch each day. And so you can refill, treat that water, and then drink it for the afternoon. But we do recommend drinking 4 to 5 liters of water every day when going on a trek at high altitude. Dehydration is one of the number one reasons for people feeling unwell or not being able to complete the trek, is they just have not kept up with the hydration. So it's a really important thing to keep track of.
Cool.
And then can you talk a little bit about training and where I can find out more information about what training I should be doing for this trip and how hard the trek is?
Yeah, so training, we have written, I mean, I've been to Everest Base Camp, been to the top of Everest, been to Everest Base Camp 40 times, and we are seeing people not showing up fully prepared for the trip. And we're seeing a lot of people in the region that are having to get on helicopters and get evacuated because they're too tired coming down. So the training is absolutely critical. And no matter what you read on the internet about you can train for 4 weeks before you go, it's all rubbish. You have to be physically prepared. You're going to be hiking up and down stairs. You're going to be covering some days 2,000 feet of elevation back-to-back days. You're going to be doing 13 days back-to-back. Some days 8 hours and then 8 hours again the next day. Up and down hills, up and down. There's nothing flat. Stairs, steep terrain, glacial terrain. So there's a lot of up and down, all the way up to Kalapatar, base camp, and then all the way back. I've written extensively about training for Everest Base Camp. We have a blog, Training for Everest Base Camp Trek. There's a lot of information in the dossier with other links, and we have a step-by-step plan in here about how to get a fitness test, making sure you're training in the right heart rate zones, making sure you're carrying enough weight in your training because you got to factor in the lack of oxygen. So there's lots of information. We have it in the dossier, we have it on the website, and you can email us if you need further information. And number 6 is these new flights to Mantali, or whether it's from Kathmandu to Lukla, or this Mantali district or Ramachap airport to Lukla.
So there's been a lot of changes in the region over the past couple of seasons, and they've been playing with moving all of the flights in and out of the mountains to a smaller airport outside of Kathmandu called Ramchamp, or in the Mantali district. So unfortunately, that is how the flights are playing out during the busy season in the region. So what that means is you would have to wake really early in the morning, 1 a.m. possibly, to get on a bus at 2 a.m. to take the 4-hour drive at night, because there's not as much traffic, to get to the Ramchamp airport. We always book first round flights of the day. We've already got, for the next season, we're already booked on all the flights for the first round out, just to make sure that our teams get those early morning flights when the weather is generally more stable and flights are able to go. So it does mean that you're basically gonna kind of miss out on that first night's sleep because you're gonna be in a bus overnight to get to the airport. Then it's just a 15-minute flight to get from Ramchamp up into the mountains of Lukla. And it isn't ideal, obviously. It's a long drive and uncomfortable roads out there, but it is how things are playing out during the busier months in the region. So, if you are going slightly on the outskirts of the busiest season, we still might be able to get those flights directly from Kathmandu in and out. But it's something to be aware of, that there is a chance that you will have to take that flight from Ramchamp. We will have more information. We have a page on the website that helps explain it a little bit more, and we always are sending further details to our teams about it. But there is an option if people do not want to get on that long bus journey. We do provide private transportation to the airport. But if you don't want to do that, there are options to get on a helicopter. It is an added cost, but we do have 4 guides for every group of 10 trekkers, so we have plenty of staff to manage getting some people in on helicopters if necessary and others on the flight. So more to come on that, but just something to be aware of. And the last thing I wanted to ask you about is, where is the best place for me to get more information if I have further questions? Of course, we're here to answer some of those questions, but is there somewhere I can go to get kind of quick answers?
Yeah. I mean, we have 3 ways to do it. You can email us, info@iantaylortrekking.com. You can go directly to the page. So let's say you're going on a sleeping at base camp trip. You can go into the website, go to the Everest region, or you can just type in sleeping at base camp. And on the page, like, there's videos, we have our upcoming trips, we got contact us, we have top 50 tips for trekking to base camp, we have our training advice is right here, the elevation gains up and down, so you can assess that, training for the downhill, which is super important, bunch of pictures and the itineraries listed. And then you can go down further and you'll see packing video, packing information, the trekking boots that we recommend, and then our frequently asked questions are actually, they're all drop down menus, and you can see a lot of the questions that we've talked about here on that page. And then you can also just email us and just go in the dossier. The dossier has over 40 pages of documentation from 15 years of doing this, so we're happy to help you if you need to, but you can find information on the website and in the dossier, and we're happy to help.
Thank you very much.